I have a terrible cough. There's no way I'm going to manage this full video in one shot. Hello there everybody, I hope you're all well, and it's that time of the year again. It's the end of the year, and it's one of my favourite videos to do. It's the annual shirt review and trying to figure out which of my favourites are that I added to my collection in 2022. It's the ones that stood out just a little bit more so than the others. Now every shirt of course has its story and its place in my collection, but I've been able to pull out 15 this time, not 10. Usually I go for 10, but I felt like there was just that many good shirts, and even then there's probably still some honourable mentions in its usual category of rarity, design. Values does come into it a little bit. Now, like every other year, shirts, some of these are very difficult to find. I've had to buy them myself or have help from guys like yourselves or people in the wider football shirt community and world, and I think we've done quite well. We've got a mixture of great, cool, unique countries as well as just those general designs that maybe you're all quite familiar with. If you've been watching my videos from the beginning to the end, well done, because if you're anything like me, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, YouTube channels, and even I would struggle to watch every single one, so big thank you to everybody who, of course, is supporting the channel. These shirts will probably stand out to you more so because a lot of them are somewhat recent, but we do go back quite a bit towards the early part of the year, so it's always a nice refresher, especially if you maybe joined later on. Okay then, in 15th place we have this one, and it's the FC Volendam away shirt from last season, and the primary reason why is because it's pink. Yes, when I was looking through the shirts I added, I realised, considering I love the colour pink on football shirts so much, this is the only one that has pink. At least that's the only one I think I had that had pink. Certainly none that were entirely pink, so that's definitely something I need to improve on for 2023. Now, of course, this one has this great design of this man sat on the bench outside Volendam, which was always really, really nice. It's a Robé shirt. They do some great designs. And it's just a well put together shirt, heavy durability, and it was a nice little Dutch team to add to my collection. So yeah, it's a good way to start in 15th. Okay then, in 14th we have Leones Negros. We have the third shirt. This is one I picked up from a fellow friend and viewer of the videos from Depop, and the reason why I went for this one is because that amazing lion graphic on the front there. Very, very powerful. I love the sort of mint green colour scheme and the sort of brushed bluey sort of navy colour. It works really, really well. It's got this giant crest on the front there, and I just love the sort of detailing with the coordinates of the stadium in there. It's a nice little addition. Umbro, they know what they're doing. I love the little diamonds on the cuffs. So yeah, it was a good little purchase, and I mean, considering the amount of Mexican shirts I seem to add, it was only fair that one of them was featuring on this list. And in 13th we have Young Africans, the one from Tanzania. So yes, this is my first sort of unique country. Of course, you know that I'm trying to get every country represented by at least one club. It's not easy, but we're certainly over 100 now, and we're almost halfway there. And this is one from Tanzania, which is one of the first ones I ever saw from this country. I grabbed it through eBay, thanks to it was pointed out to a fellow collector who also likes to get some of these more unique clubs. I just love the design. It's got this great colour scheme, and it's a new manufacturer to the collection, and it's just really, really nice, and the price was pretty decent as well. So, lovely country, nice design, so that's definitely enough for me. And in 12th place, sticking with the theme of quite interesting and cool, unique African shirts, we have Bow Rangers. It's a team from Sierra Leone, another country that you just really do not see floating around too often. And this one was, sort of picked up by one of my friends who also is able to supply sort of these unique shirts and countries himself. Has this great graphic of sort of a native person on the front there. It has a great colour. I love this sort of turquoisey sort of aqua colour. It's a very simple shirt other than the graphic, and the manufacturer we thought was quite an interesting one, but it's just a great, unique country that I never really anticipated getting without some real struggles, and well, here it is, Sierra Leone, and it's Bow Rangers. Now then, in 11th, we have this shirt. It's the Penang home shirt from last year, and this was a shirt that I bought as part of a group of Malaysian shirts from a friend, and this one was kind of a filler shirt. I bought it with the intention of grabbing the main shirt, and this one was just sort of thrown in to make sure it felt like the purchase was worth it when you take into account the shipping. But when I received this, it actually turned out to be a really, really nice shirt. I love this Puma template. You saw it with a lot of goalkeeper shirts that were wearing this one, but this golden sponsor on the front looks really, really nice. And it's just good quality material. Got the league patch on there. And it's just, I was really pleased that this was sort of suggested to me as sort of a filler for the overall order. So that's a lovely Malaysian shirt for you there. Right, in 10th place, maybe a controversial choice. It's the Juventus shirt, the third shirt that is, well, pretty terrible, isn't it? It's kind of hated, but honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not great. It's almost one of those ones where it's like, it's so bad it's kind of good. I mean, the V is simple enough, it's yellow, but I just think it's okay. And now this is the authentic version, so I think that kind of elevates it a little bit more because the material just feels a little bit more premium, so that always adds to it, and the fact that the crest is sort of transferred on there. But yeah, it's not that bad, and I've spoken to some people who have said that they've seen it sort of in person, and it's okay. It's one of those ones where online on the image, yes, I can see why people might hate it, but I'm not terrified. I'm not sort of totally upset that I own this one. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but yeah, it's one of my favourite shirts that I added. So why not, eh? Juventus. In 9th place, another unique country added to the collection, and it's FK Sudjetska. And this is one of the only, I think it was the only European country that added to my collection this year, and it's from Montenegro. And this was a great addition and great help with one of the viewers and friends who was able to source this through one of his friends who lives in the country. It's very, very difficult to get shirts from this country. Otherwise, I would have already probably owned one, and this one still took quite a bit of travelling. The design is simple. It's a Homa shirt with this sort of interesting horizontal stripes and then sort of vertical stripes crisscrossing away. It's just a nice shirt, and the fact that it's coming from quite a unique place and it was very difficult to get definitely adds to the sort of allure of this one. So that was a nice addition there. And next up, in 8th place, we have the Borussia Dortmund shirt, what was my most expensive purchase. Of course, it does come with the box, and it's a 09 shirt, the special edition. And it's one that I put off buying for quite some time, but eventually decided that, you know what, I don't have a Dortmund shirt. And this one is probably just as good as a lot of them that have been released recently. So I've spent a little bit of extra money on this one, and I'm not upset that I did that. It's a great little design. The actual sponsor doesn't look as crazy on this one because it's a little bit difficult sometimes to put it on the shirts. Bit more premium, but yeah, I'm pleased to own it, and the fact that it comes with a box is nice, means I can present it quite well. Now then, in 7th place, we're back to African countries, and it's one that I added right at the beginning of the year, and it's Maghreb de Fez, and it's a shirt that is from Morocco. And the primary reason why I wanted this one is not just because it's Moroccan and it's quite a unique country, it's because the design on the front there, it's got this weird sort of, almost like it's pencil sketched on the front. It's sort of the rooftops of Fez, and I just really, really like it. It's quite simple. I think I quite like the black and white shirts, and the yellow sort of pops quite nicely. It's quite unique. Again, I got it from a friend who sells sort of unique shirts and collects them himself, so I was one of the lucky ones that was able to grab one of these, and it's just a nice little addition. It's a great shirt, and of course it's another country that I was able to tick off, so that's Maghreb de Fez there from Morocco. Now in 6th place, we have the shirt where they wanted to charge me £18,000 to import it into the country. It is, of course, Qadsiya, and it's the shirt from Kuwait that I bought directly from Irea, and they sort of mistranslated the value of the shirt. They thought it was £35,000 instead of, well, £35. And it's got a great design. I love this sort of interesting styling on the front there. The fact that it is from Kuwait, which again is a country that you just don't really see floating around too frequently. So it throws in all of those things combination, and the fact that it has that interesting story behind it just makes it a great addition to the collection. Now then, top 5, and it is AS Monaco, the Drôle de Monsieur shirt, one of my most recent additions and my most expensive purchase, more than maybe I should have spent. But it's a great shirt. Is it on here because of the price? I'm sure that has some part of it. But I also really just love the design. I know some people are not too keen on it, and I think the price also does deter people. But I just love vanilla colours right now, and the brown works really well. It's sort of got a great material feel to it as well. It's elasticated, as you would expect from some Kappa, but it just feels really pro with it being the player spec. So it's a limited edition shirt, though not how quite limited, who quite knows. But it's a lovely edition, and I finally was able to add a Monaco shirt to my collection. Okay then, now it's fourth, and we have this one, this beautiful Kedah shirt. So this is the main event of the 3 Malaysian shirts that I picked up when I mentioned that the other one was the filler. This was the prime one that I was focusing on, and it's just a pure white shirt with this sort of iridescent styling of the crest and the logos and the sponsors. And the fact that it came with a box was the sort of cherry on top. It's what's got me into collecting boxed shirts. And it's just really clinical, it's beautiful, it's a simple design, and I'm really pleased to add this one to my collection because it's one that you don't see floating around too often. Okay then, top 3, definitely getting spicy now, and it is this one. It's the Hapoel Beersheva shirt. It's the 3rd shirt from last season, and I had to pick this up because, well, look at it, look at the design, it's amazing. Kelme shirt with this sort of almost like animal pattern on the front, and those sleeves with a sort of turquoise and pink. I suppose that's the only bit of pink additionally that I added to my collection. And I had to get some help from a friend in Israel who was a supporter of the club to help get this one sent to me. It took quite a while for it to arrive. I actually technically bought this one last year, but it didn't arrive until like January, February time, so I'm going to include it in this year's. And it's just really, really nice. The design's good. It's very difficult to get it because they don't ship outside. You have to get somebody else to help you with that. So throw those things in together, and it's a great addition to my collection. Now then, top 2. Who could it possibly be? And it is second place for this one. It's one of my most recent additions, and yes, you cannot be surprised to find this one towards the top of this list. It's Malacca United. It's another shirt from Malaysia. I've realised that Malaysians do some amazing football shirts. In fact, there's one that I've seen recently that I would love to add, but again, it's quite difficult to get it sort of shipped over here. But this one is beautiful. It's so vibrant. The yellow, the luminous sort of yellowy green highlighter colour, so bright, and you throw into this sort of, it's almost like a universe sort of telescope looking through sort of style. It's just out of this world, literally. It's beautiful. It's one of my favourite shirts. And what's quite funny, a little story, is I got my brother a mystery shirt for Christmas, because he wears football shirts occasionally, and when he opened it up, it had this shirt in it, and I was like, ha, wow. So we both own one of these shirts, but he's actually going to be wearing his, so you might see him out and about in this shirt. Okay then, we've reached the summit. What shirt stood out the most to me this year? And I think, to be honest, I think this is a fair shout. It's a shirt that I added quite towards the beginning of the year, so it's possible you may have even forgotten that I own this one. I haven't shown it off too frequently this year, so here it is. It is, of course, the Pacific FC away shirt from this season, I guess you'd say. And it's a beautiful, beautiful shirt. Yes, I still see E.T.'s face in the front there, but it's one that was very, very popular, not just in the country of Canada, but across the world. And unfortunately, it seemed quite rare. I've not really seen it for sale. I think the only place you could buy it was Macron, and they just don't have any stock. I was really lucky that I was able to pick this one up from them in a medium. So I've not seen too many floating around, so the fact that it's a little bit more obscure and a little bit more scarce definitely adds to it. But the design is just amazing. It reminds me of the Club America shirt, which also featured highly on last year's list. So quite clearly I do have a favourite style. Black and white with sort of interesting tribal patterns on it. But yeah, it's a great addition. Definitely my favourite shirt added to the collection this year. It wasn't the most expensive, but and it wasn't from the most obscure country, but you know, just the style alone, it has to be there for me. That has to be number 1. Okay then, so that is it. That is my top 15 shirts for the year. Some great shirts there, I hope you agree. I don't necessarily expect you to think all of them are good shirts, and there's possibly some that I missed out that you would maybe think were the best. I suppose that's why it's a subjective sort of hobby that we follow. Now let me know which of the 15 there you like. Which one would you choose if you were allowed to grab one for your collections? But most importantly, tell me which was your favourite shirt that you added to your collection this year. I know a lot of you are collectors, whether you are seasoned pros or you are just beginning. Let us know which were your favourite shirts that you added, and I'll let you know my thoughts and opinions on them. So that is it. 2022 is complete. So that just leaves me one more thing to say, and that is just quite simply, thank you. Thank you as always for watching my videos. I dropped from 3 videos to 2, partly because I was running out of ideas, because surprisingly, maybe if you run a YouTube channel, you do something like this, it does take quite a bit of time, especially when you're sort of effectively working 2 jobs, trying to figure out the videos to do. And I'd rather do less videos that are a little bit better than lots of videos that are quite quickly rushed. So we'll see what 2023 brings. I think at the beginning we'll just try and focus on similar sort of stuff, but I have some ideas of how I want to improve the way that I store my shirts. Once that's resolved, I will hopefully then be able to focus more attention on making these videos look a little bit better. Again, it's all time. It's only a hobby for me. In fact, it's like a hobby of a hobby. The hobby is the football shirts and the YouTube is just sort of a secondary thing. So I try to put my best efforts into it and I really enjoy it. But sometimes when I do a video and I think, I really wish that was better, but time-wise, I just don't really have that time to sort of finesse it and make it look perfect. So hopefully as the year progresses, that's something I can focus on a little bit more. That's going to be one of my goals for 2023. And that's kind of really it. As for football shirts, I don't really know. I have something that's en route right now that is really nice. In fact, I already know that it's going to find itself in this video next year. It just has to be, unless I find some amazing shirts next year. I'm going to see how it goes. So of course we've got this season's shirts, which towards the middle of the year will end up in sale, and there's quite a few that I have my eye on. And then, I suppose, next season will begin and we'll be able to grab some of those at the beginning of that. So we shall see where we land. Hopefully, I bought 52 shirts this year, so that was pretty much one a week, exactly one a week. And then threw in the ones that I were gifted. Probably took me to 65 or so. So it was a great addition. It still means that I'm about 10 years away from reaching my goal of 1,000 shirts, which is kind of terrifying, really. That's a long way to go, especially when you think I've been doing this for over 8 years now, so I've definitely got a lot of skin in the game there. But yeah, I really look forward to finding ways to sort of make this sort of area look a little bit better. Space-wise, it's a little bit constricted, especially as my collection grows. Anybody who has a decent amount of football shirts will definitely attest to that. Storage does become a little bit of an issue, especially if you want to store them a little bit more appropriately, instead of just throwing them in somewhere where you might damage them, they might stick together. So you've got to get a little bit creative with that. So we'll see. Once I figure out that, I will do an update and I'll show you what I'm doing, and then maybe it'll give you some ideas of how you want to store yours. So I hope you have a great new year. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope it's very fruitful for you, your family, your loved ones. And of course, when it comes to football shirts, I hope you add some great new ones to your collections. And I'll see you as the videos roll in. So thank you as always for watching my videos, and I'll see you next year. Goodbye.